I'm talking today about financial abuse done in organized crime for victims who are considered TIs or targeted individuals. This could be any kind of criminal, corrupt networking, military industrial complex, government, any of the three digit agencies. So, one thing that I had happen to me was when I went into a vehicle dealership. They were supposed to check my car for the battery recall, which interestingly enough had two different phone numbers. And one of the phone numbers was legit, one of the phone numbers was not. It's interesting because the first time I contacted them, I was directed to somebody, and then the second time I contacted them, it was for some kind of life alert. Uh, so I found that to be bizarre. And then when I actually went in to have my vehicle looked at, they came back not even telling me anything about the battery, which was what they were supposed to be checking it for in the first place. And I do have a place that I service my vehicle at, which is in a dealership. And so I knew that I was going to be scammed when I went in there in the first place. So they tried to tell me that I had a problem with my water pump. It was going to cost me about $800, which we all know that that is a markup incredibly by like four times what it would typically cost to have your water pump fixed. And so then I took it to the people that I normally have my vehicle serviced with. And, of course, it was an out of pocket expense, which the DOD had told me before this would be whenever I became one of their little uh, guinea pigs in their psychopathic experiment. And they were like, there's nothing wrong with your water pump. And so I'm like, well, why would the dealership gaslight the living? Well, anyways, the man who came out at the dealership had told me, this is hot lava. This is hot lava. And I'm like, well, sir, to be quite honest with you, first of all, water pump doesn't cost that much to get repaired. There's probably nothing wrong with my water pump. And lastly, the hot lava is not my creation. I'm a victim and a survivor of it, and I did not manifest it. I did not create it. Look to your political leaders. Maybe just put your hands up and give a good old prayer to God, and maybe you could find some answers that way instead of blaming it on a victim or a survivor. And then, of course, some dude comes in with an orange hat and tries to say, don't say anything, don't say anything, trying to control the situation, just looks like a complete buffoon. And, there are other street theater actors who arrive at the scene. And this is just one example. This is one example in the whole sea of um, fake, faux life, fake living. Maybe we could call this the simulation. It's hard to say, but this is just one example. Now, another way that they do it is they'll send, extra taxes, or you owe money for this, or you owe money for that, or you're responsible for this. And, this party that you were once affiliated with, not to mention any names, gets away with this and gets away with this, and you're slapped with it. Um, so that person's freed and you are in chains, so to speak. And this is the way that this system plays. It there is no um, relief, and the financial abuse is real. I mean, and it gets far worse than just those two things that I've mentioned to you. But it's such a headache to share unless it actually vomits itself back up again. So we'll leave it at that. I hope that you can learn something from this. If not, please throw a question in. I'd love to help you in any way that I can or answer any of your questions. Being that they've basically raped the life out of me, I can pretty much disclose all at this point. So feel free to hit me up with something good, and maybe I can be of service to you. Thank you for listening.